America First with Sebastian Gorka. Coming up at 3 on AM 970. The Answer.
Joe Piscopo on the radio 20 minutes before 8 o'clock, 740 on AM 970 The Answer. Around the country on AM970TheAnswer.com. We appreciate you listening all around the world virtually. I know Australia, you're listening. We love you down there. Dr. Stephen Greer's the guy. He's the guy that we brought on early on and started talking about this coronavirus, this Wuhan virus. He had every single answer. We were the first ones to talk about it. But when I tell you that we were the first, that we were ahead of the curve, forget about flattening the curve. We were ahead of the curve, and it was Dr. Greer that was the man that really brought all this invaluable information to us on the airwaves. Dr. Stephen, welcome back to the show. Always awesome to have you with us, sir.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Well, I'm okay. I was thinking about you because you said it first on what is good about the hydroxychloroquine. Let me start there, Stephen. And I had a friend on yesterday. He had double pneumonia, COVID-19, and he went to the hospital. My friend Jeffrey, it was a wild interview. And what did they give him? Not only hydroxychloroquine, they doubled it up. And this was back, he said, in, I guess it was in February, March, when we first started hearing about it, you know? So you were, and he had, and Stephen, he had heart problems, but he had a heart attack, but they said, we don't care. This is what's going to help you. We got to try it. And you know what? He was out of the hospital in 3 days, just like that.
Yeah. Well, I've got a little scoop for you. I have friends in high places, let's put it that way. And do you remember that story where there were two influential studies in the New England Journal and Lancet that got retracted? They were studies that said hydroxychloroquine did not work, and then they got retracted because they were fraudulent. And I said, hey, this was based on fraudulent data by a little company called Surgisphere. It's much like the Steele dossier and Fusion GPS, and this is bad. The medical review process has become corrupted to the core. Well, that's going to probably be an example to use to reform the entire medical review process, we hope. And so stay tuned on that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you hear Dr. Li Meng Yan? She's been talking about how this virus, it was developed in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And we've talked to Gordon Chang. We've talked to, he's the foremost expert on everything China. And Stephen, I got to ask you, because, I mean, honestly, not to be an alarmist, I say, and this is Joe talking, not Stephen Greer, I think it was a bioweapon, man. I think they developed it. Am I being too dramatic when I make those accusations, Stephen?
Yeah, well, Gordon Chang, my behind, I'm the one who told you that. I've been telling you. I've been telling you. I told you that in no uncertain terms that this was created in a lab in Wuhan and so forth. Yeah. And I also mentioned Tom Cotton as the key figure, and I said that the term COVID-19 was propaganda created. It's all in my first chapter of Tony's Virus. And
which is the book from Dr. Greer. Stephen, stay on it. So you know what? You know what? I was more concerned with the medicines that you told, like the remdesivir and everything else you told us to take. Tell us why you think this was indeed created in that lab, please. You got to talk about that, because yes, please.
Sure. Yeah. Because it's important publicly, and I don't care if I make any money on it. The first chapter, Tony's Virus, on the Healthcare Channel website. It explains it all. So there's no issue. Okay, we've got the Chinese virologist who's saying that. She's credible. Well, let's say you don't believe her. Let's say you don't believe the pandemic virologist lady. Fine. Tony Fauci admits it. So there's no doubt. So in 2011, Tony Fauci started this program. It had been going on in secret, but they got busted with some high-profile accidents in Wisconsin and the Netherlands where viruses escaped and so forth. So he had to come clean and put it in, explain why it was ethical to create man-made viruses. And he did that in an op-ed 2011. Then there's numerous large Inspector General reports from the government. It's zero doubt that they make viruses in the lab. So we know that. Now, the only question here is, okay, did the Wuhan virus make it? Well, now we have the virologist giving an extremely credible report of how they go about doing it. She shows the recipe. Now, here's the connection. We funded that. It's insane. It's like Tony Fauci.
If he was in the neighborhood, that would be his name, Stephen. Yeah. Hey, here comes Tony Virus. Hey, Tony Virus, how are you? Yeah, I got you. It's a great nickname. It's a great nickname for Anthony Fauci. Tony Virus. Hey, how are you? I love it. And so what? So Tony Virus did what?
He created a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise in China, in the Wuhan. He funded the lab to do their work over in China. Now that happens a lot. You see this in drug companies and so forth. For example, they outsource drug manufacturing to Puerto Rico, the Philippines, and all these places. Why? Because it's impossible for the FDA to inspect a plant. So I wonder if he put this dangerous work in Wuhan because it was away from the United States. I don't know why, but our government was funding this Wuhan lab. So we have the Chinese virologist saying, yeah, we definitely made it in the lab, and now I'm connecting it to Tony.
Yeah, you know what? So, and what was the end game? It was a bioweapon, correct?
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, so the reason we, the United States, do it is because Russia and China does it. So we can't just sit there and not do it. So it's 1972 made bioweapons illegal, but everyone's ignoring it, and so all these countries are really doing it. So yeah, I mean, there's no doubt we do it for defensive reasons. Now, I don't believe China let this loose on purpose. I believe they let it loose because in the United States, where it's probably arguably safer, we have mistake after. So these bioweapons labs are highly prone to mistakes. Just read the reports. And then there was the Chinese lab has its own report from the State Department. So these labs have mistakes all the time. It's a disaster waiting to happen, which is the reason this isn't. The heads have to roll because Tony Fauci knew better. He's had years and years and years of reports saying this is unsafe, and he still let it happen. And he renewed it. So this was canceled under Obama. Under President Obama, he canceled the program in 2014 after more mistakes happened. And then in December of 2017, if you remember, that's when Trump was all distracted by all of the rush. So at the height of chaos, and he knew he could get away with it, Fauci restarted the program. And so the heads have to roll here.
Interesting. And again, we welcome everybody on the air. We're not accusing everybody, but what Stephen Greer's never been wrong up to this point. But you know what really hurts, Dr. Greer, is that when you said on this show about the drug, the medicinals that you can help the therapeutic attack of this virus, you said it so casually, Stephen, too. You were great. You go, oh, no, we have medicine for it. And I'm going, well, what? And no one, they're asking for ventilators. And we've gone over this before, but I don't think you can go over this enough, Dr. Greer, because there should be an investigation. You're absolutely right. If Governor Cuomo or if Governor Murphy or Bill de Blasio or Governor Newsom or Inslee, if they just said, well, Mr. President, we need these drugs. We need these drugs. And if they did indeed distribute those drugs that you're telling us work, Dr. Greer, how many lives do you think would have been saved, sir?
Well, yeah. Well, if 11,000 nursing home in New York alone died, and then how many in the hospital died? So tens of thousands in New York alone. And there is an investigation. Thanks to you. Thanks. This is why I love you guys. Powerful people listen to this show and other shows, and it started. So it started here, and now Governor Cuomo has been raided by the Department of Justice. Out in Pennsylvania too. So the DOJ started an investigation. Right. They're starting with the nursing home massacre first. But part of that investigation will be, why did you not give these people the proper therapy early on? Because I don't think no one should die from this. We have a high death rate in certain elderly and all that, the certain risk factors. Even they should not die. I don't think anyone should die from this if you get the right medications.
Yeah, God bless you. And Dr. Greer, before we let you go, did you see Robert Redfield, Dr. Redfield from the CDC, holding up the mask? He's saying the mask is better than the vaccine. And then I can see the president going, oh, my gosh, he's trying to get the vaccine out. He's staying positive. And just to reiterate what the president is trying to do on Operation Warp Speed, he might very well have a vaccine that's usable very quickly. Correct, Dr. Greer?
Yeah, well, part of my last chapter in Tony's virus is how to reform and prevent this from happening again, because it will happen again. They've got a taste for blood. They're going to do this again. So we've got to get rid of the CDC, start from scratch, and reform it. And that was just a great example. But yeah, the warp speed thing, I want to say really quickly, my Wall Street job is we have to predict things, will this drug be approved or not and so forth. So we're looking at the nitty-gritty science, and I follow the FDA. I've never seen anything like this. It blows my mind. They really deserve a lot of credit for getting these vaccines done. It's just phenomenal. From the federal government, so they really deserve credit there. Now, Moderna has an R&D call today. Moderna was 80% approved. I think in about 2 weeks you're going to see the complete data from Moderna's vaccine.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, that's why. And Trump knows that. That's why you hear comments like, any week now. So we should get the data in a couple of weeks, and I think we could easily have a vaccine in October.
Dr. Stephen Greer is the man. Tony's virus. Just please check it out. We have so much to talk to you about. Dr. Stephen, please stay close. Come back anytime, and thanks for the expertise. You're literally saving lives, Dr. Greer, and God bless you for that. Thanks for joining us, Stephen.
Well, so are you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yes, sir. Dr. Stephen Greer right there. Don't forget, he's a Wall Street analyst, but he's got read Tony's virus. And again, I'm not being alarmist. I'm not being sensational. This man it pragmatically laid out exactly how you could contain this virus. And he did it right here on the show. And we were the first ones to say it. And by the grace of God, people are finally starting to listen. And a little too late, but better late than never. 7:51, Joe on the